Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint.com is now TradingCardMint.com. Please check out their selection of over 20,000 cards with prices cheaper than TCG Player. Alright, what is up YouTube? I'm Kagero here. We are with The Claw today, talking about a deck that he doesn't really know much about.
No.
Be showing off the wonderful ARG mat for Summer States. And check out TradingCardMint.com down below in the description as well. It is time to wonder what's going on in premium format, that magical place that people don't want to go. We're going to be looking at Overlord today, and this deck's fun as fuck. We're playing 4 copies of Mr. I Wish You Were 13K, the card. This card's still really good for control. Losing the 2K across the opponent's Vanguard, though, for the even numbers does kind of hurt, depending on the matchup. And you also have to make self-conscious decisions in which phase you want to go down, depending on the matchup, because sometimes you're going to have to be vanilla as fuck. So we're playing 4 copies of the new Overlord. Typically, this is my first start to give yourself a force marker to basically allow you to set up for the next column. But you have excellent control and disruption here, and this gives you a higher base number to basically play the game with your opponent. Also, if you go into this first, being able to restand on your opponent is pretty good. Austin, did this ever feel threatening to you?
No. Because it makes you, like, your opponent discard cards, so... I mean, if it really, really hurts you, then obviously, like, PG or throw out one of those giant shields now that we have.
I mean, plus if you're, like, at 2 damage at the stage in the game, it doesn't really hurt you that much to just kind of let it through.
It's not the Blau deck.
And I'm playing 1 copy of the Rebirth. So there were a lot of lists that were just playing a random Overlord, because one of the things I found when playing this deck is you still fucking need 9 Overlords to draw. So I was playing 3 Stride Fodders, cut a Stride Fodder, put in just a random copy of this. It can be any Overlord. You can play the X, you can play Mr. On Hit, discard a copy of itself, but you're not playing any copies of itself, so it doesn't really matter. I guess you can play it for cross-ride status. Be about it. But, oh wait, this guy gets cross-ride too. So, also this guy has Lord.
No dominate.
Yeah. So it's basically one of the reasons why I wanted to play this. But you need to find yourself in a situation where you need about as many Overlords as you can get for this effect when you're on that window. Plus, having another one to discard is pretty good.
Somebody with this card.
I thought about it. I mean, fuck it, man. With the new rules, I get to play fucking the Rebirth. Like, I'll take it. 4 copies of this guy. This card is fucking spectacular. Being able to still maintain its attack advantage. They did us a favor when they knew the new rules were coming. They gave us good, decent 10Ks for us to fuck around with. Let's see here. 4 copies of Morfessa. Not currently testing any of the newer ones. Not really sure how I'd feel about them. Honestly, Counterblast 1 to kill something is okay. But for the most part, the general restander is pretty fucking crucial in a lot of matchups. Just the extra power. And then 3 copies of this. I cut this from 12 to 11. You haven't noticed any real differences, have you?
You still saying no?
This card kind of sucks. Considering the fact that, like, you don't go into your Overlord stride all that fucking often. I mean, the 9 Overlords fix the problem, but just not seeing this, just... I don't know. There's still a lot of problems with this deck, but the new stuff definitely helped. 2 Stride Fodders, as I explained earlier. Was playing 3. You need that extra named Overlord. This card fucking sucks, man. I can't just search Overlord. 4 copies of the Perfect Guy. The first thing I can tell you about this is we are cutting these and we are going to draw triggers. My draw triggers currently in the build don't do anything, and we actually get a new grade 1 in the next set that kills something and countercharges.
Oh, Bar.
Yeah. No, it's not Bar. It's Airmo. It's also 8K. So, I'll fucking take that. Actually, no, it's just when a unit's retired, countercharge 1. I think it goes in the soul. I think you draw a card. I could be wrong about that, but basically you replace Airmo and go to draw triggers. But for the most part, these are still good for the time being until we get to those. Can't wait to play draw trigger. perfect cards. 4 copies of, got to discard an Overlord, go search for an Overlord, the card. Countercharging is excellent with this card too. Not really much of another reason to play it. Also wish this guy had 10k shield. But with the way that they're remaking current effects, we'll see if we get lucky. But for the most part, you need to play these. And then 3 copies of Little Griffin. Being able to restore part of your deck, I don't know, it's pretty good. I don't see this enough to want to stride with it. I understand like the variance and the argument for wanting to play more of these to stride, but 3 copies seems to be about where I want to be. But most of the time your opponent can just fucking kill this on rear guard with darkness and things like that. So you have to compensate for the matchup. I feel is probably the best thing to say. So there is that. Any complaints so far, Austin?
Just climb up here and use your guy.
Okay. We're playing new triggers. 7 crits and 5 draws. So one of the things I found was Gatling Claw is still good. I'm fine with it as a 1-up. As the format kind of evolves, people are going to be switching to the new starters, so this actually just kind of loses value. So we're probably going to cut this out. Probably going to go to 5, 7 on triggers like I have now. I was considering 8 and 4. Crits are incredibly valuable, but when these become the perfect shields and things like that, the whole core base of the deck will change. But for the time being right now, when starters are relevant, 1 of this is fine. I just kind of find it important to know at which point in which ladder I need to go down for triggers. Also, 10k triggers are really good for beating Bermuda. Gotta make that bad call. 4 copies of our countercharging heal. No real explanation needed for this. I do want to play the 20k ones, so we'll probably get that point. But feeding your soul is pretty good. And then 1 copy of Conroe as a starter, because that card's incredibly broken.
Dude, we got Barkle and
Conroe. Yeah, I know. It's the Great Trinity. Back at it again. Force Markers. Alright, 3 copies of Mr. Your opponent's at 5 damage. Drive check 5 times. This card is still insanely broken. You have no reason not to play it if you're playing premium format. Take advantage of your opponent's situation. Being able to deal a damage for free is literally insane. So much value in this card just for what it does. 2 copies of Ziegenbeg. I really haven't found myself wanting to go into this all that much as of late, but you still have to play it just for the weird-ass scenario in which you need it. But GB3 is still pretty hefty, but being able to kill something, also pretty valued. 2 copies of a card that we flip over and never really use. It's just kind of here for one of those situations in case you need it. I can't really say much more about what the fuck is your name anymore? The Ace.
That's your solo card.
1 copy of Drachma. Still need this card. This card is so good. Can you play Kagero or without Zero Dragons?
Nope, I play it new Battalion Field.
I know a lot of people are like, oh no, Zero Dragons are expensive. Prices of these things have fallen a lot more than I think people are aware of. So pick them up. Still a staple. 1 copy of this. This card's actually still incredibly broken. In matchups where you have to control your opponent's board and keep things off, it's still incredibly good. Being able to draw a card and retire something for a counterblast. Incredibly free. 1 copy of Sabreeze. A lot of people do not like this. But you have to remember the amount of people that will play down as the format's adjusting. It's definitely going to be very important. Remember, you still ride to 3. This is a game mechanic. This will still allow you to stride on top of your Vanguard.
But it activates during the main phase. It is not striding.
Yep. Very important to understand how Sabreeze works.
Well, it is striding, but it's not striding in your stride phase.
Yeah, it's an effect that grants you the ability to do so as long as the conditions been met.
Yep.
I actually miss Cray Elementals.
We did that today and actually it proved relevant.
Yeah, it's a 1-of that you can fit in your G-Zone. You no longer have to worry about...
New Battalion. It's relevant.
1 copy of Kill My Opponent's
Back row.
1 copy of Nuke the Back Row. 1 copy of...
I'm big.
Yep. And then 3 copies of Denial Griffin.
That's roast chicken.
Roast Chicken just got the reprint this month for shop tournaments.
But those look pretty.
It's absolutely beautiful. Now, Overlord's still one of those decks that I don't think people should forget exist, especially when it just got all of its new support here for people to kind of fuck around with. So, guys, check out tradingcardmint.com down below in the description. Like I said, enter MCOL40, save yourselves a little bit of money, and we're going to continue to warm things up a little bit as Standard comes out. We're probably going to prefer premium format to Standard, but I do like getting 4-0'd in Standard, so it'll be fun. Alright guys, peace out. Want to wave goodbye, Claw?
Bye.
Bye. Stats.